How you doing? You okay?
Yes, I'm good, thanks. Thank you for joining. I'm here today with Chris. My name is Chera, and there's a little collaboration with Employment King and The Essentials. So, The Essentials is all about how to take your career, life, and business to the next level. So, and I'm going to help you do that. And today we're going to be discussing career essentials CVs. Chris, you want to give a quick intro on what Employment King is about?
Yeah, Employment King is helping people to influence that job interview so you get more job offers, helping people to double the salary and to be successful in that career. So everything you need to know about influencing job interviews.
Fantastic, right. And we're going to be talking about CVs today.
Yes. One of the things with CVs is I get loads of people saying, what is the perfect CV? And really, there's no perfect CV. If your CV gets you job interviews, then it's working. If it don't get you job interviews, change it. No matter who you take that CV to, an interview coach, the essentials, job agencies, your friends, your family, colleagues, they'll all have their own opinion, their own ideas and their own experiences. Some people say have a profile and then have some bullet points. Some people say put your qualifications above your employment history. Everyone's going to give you loads of different conflicting advice. If your CV gets you job interviews, it's working. If it doesn't get you job interviews, change it and edit it. That is the bottom line.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Yeah. And one of the things that I've noticed is you got to see where you are with regards to your location. So the fundamental structure of the CV changes. So if you're in the UK or if you're in the US or Australia or where you are, there's a fundamental structure that you would use in that particular country. So make sure you stick to that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, when you're sort of thinking about what to record in your CV, you also got to read the job spec, understand the company values and their mission, and you've got to only record things that are important to them. I see so many CVs when I do CV reviews where people got all this sometimes amazing and fabulous. You know, you read it, you're like, wow, this sounds really, really good. But then when you match that to the job criteria, it doesn't match, and that's why these people with 10 years, 15, 20 years experience, highly skilled people, can't get job offers or even interview offers because the criteria on their CV doesn't match the criteria, the desired criteria, the skills you need for that job. They have to match. That's got to be dead important.
Yes, so would you say it's a case of looking at every specific job that you apply for, looking at the criteria and then tailoring your CV accordingly?
Yeah, even for the same sector, companies want different things. So if you take something like a generic sector like the administration world, an employer working or recruiting an administrator for solicitors will want different criteria compared to an administrator in an accounts office. You've got to think specifically what that organisation desire from you and then talk about that.
Yes, absolutely. So what would you say is the most important thing with the CV? Is it the first few things that you state on it? The first few things about how it's going to grab people's attention?
I'm really glad you brought this up actually, because this is one of the things that's really misunderstood by applicants. What they believe is that every employer is going to read every single CV they get and they're going to read every word you record on that CV. When we've done research on this and we spoke to hundreds of employers, what they tend to do is flick through CVs really, really quickly. And what they tend to do is read the first opening line of your profile and sometimes the first one or two bullets of your current employment position. And that has got to snap them, that's got to get them go, wow, this is intriguing, I want to know more about this person. So I often get people on the top of their profiles to summarise their whole history. So as an example, you've got a background in sales, haven't you, Chera?
Yes.
So you might say something along the lines of, over 10 years experience in sales, with every organisation I've done, I've doubled the profits, or something that gets them to go, wow, that's ooh, I want to know more about this. And then they're going to read it. And the same with your employment history, that first bullet point, it's got to be like how you've made an impact in that job, and that impact has got to be relevant to the job you're applying for.
Yes, so it is absolutely critical that the first few things that you state on your CV has got to be attention grabbing.
Yes.
Because employers would go through so many CVs and they would glance through the first few things stated, and if it's attention grabbing, you get shortlisted. Simple as that.
The next stage after that is once they've got, I think it's about 300 CVs that most employers or the average employer receives for any advertised job. So they flick through all these really, really quick. pull out the ones that they're going to read in more detail, and that's when they read the rest of the profile, the rest of the bullet points, sometimes the covering letter, and from that they dwindle it down to 6 people on average that they're going to interview.
So basically with this job search is you've got to stand out from the rest of the candidates. That's the long and short of it. So one of the other things that you can do is you must do this, is make your CV very unique to yourself.
Yeah.
Make it personalized to yourself, avoid using the cliche, generic terminology, Try and make it as personalized as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Loads of us use templates these days, don't we? You download it off the internet, you fill in a couple of boxes, but what happens then, everyone's got the same type of CV. These days as well, you'll get LinkedIn profiles, you'll get video CVs as well. That's a great way to showcase your skills. You can be really clever. There's a real famous CV, an online CV that this IT guy did, and what he did, he made his CV, his online CV, look like an Amazon page.
Right.
It's like an Amazon product that he was selling on there. He copied that website, turned his CV in there. He had his references was the customer feedback. He had his value, which is his desired wage or the money he perceived he was worth, which was really, really high. Loads of different, really, really clever stuff. It was so clever and unique at that time, because it's been done a couple of different times now, that it went viral around the internet. And he got offered jobs with Google, Microsoft, really big organisations and companies. But you got to be unique, you got to be creative, and you got to showcase your skills.
Yes. So make sure you show as many personalized or things that are most relevant to you, what you did, your achievements, and make it as personalized as possible on your CV. So avoid the generic jargon and terminology.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's great advice.
Yeah. Are there any other things you can mention about CVs?
Yeah, I have to mention that not every employee reads the whole of your CV, and some employees will actually cover them letter and a CV, and you might think, well, they're not going to read it, why do it? I've known employees who said to me, we never read the covering letter, but we always request one. If it doesn't come with one, we'll not read that CV. I was like, so why are you doing that then? You're asking for it and you don't read it. He said, one of the things we want to do is we'll stream the CV down to about 50 so we can read in more detail. Anything people do wrong that we ask them to do, or they don't do what we ask them to do. And he was working in a sector where you had to be really into attention for detail. He said, we don't even read that CV. It's one of our tests to see if people follow instructions.
Right.
So whatever people ask for, do, but remember that you need to stand out, because often they don't read your CV in full initially.
Yes. We keep coming back to this. It's about standing out, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're against your other candidates, and it's about standing out, whether you're up against another 50 or 100 or 10. So it's about standing out amongst the rest of the other candidates. So the 3 things we take away from this is making the first few lines of your CV, it's critical. So make sure it stands out, and you show your best experience, stats, figures, any special skills that you've accumulated. So make sure you set that on the first few lines. And the second thing we took away was?
Is make sure what you record matches the criteria for that job. You can say the most amazing things about yourself, but it's not relevant, they're not going to employ you.
Yes. And the other thing is make your CV unique to yourself.
Yeah, and make it creative these days.
Be creative, personalize it,
Yeah.
Make it as if you're telling about yourself to that person. Don't avoid grabbing things from other people's CVs. Just use your own words to explain it in the best way you can. And the final thing we mentioned about is if they have asked about a cover letter.
Yeah. Add the cover letter.
Do add the cover letter.
Fantastic.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
See you soon. Bye.
See you soon.
Cool. That was good.